Now
Voice joy.
recording.
That startled me so bad. Hello, my derpy potatoes. It is Erenaroonie here. I have been taken over by Scaredy because it's October. Ah! Okay, that was really cringy, but that's okay because we are in the spoopy month of October. It is the 7th, which is fantastic. And things have been going crazy. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna be for Halloween. I tried doing a poll on Twitter, got a few comments here and there, so we're gonna have to see what I do officially. But we have a fantastic guest. See what I did there? Okay, I'm dying from the cringe. I apologize. But we have a fantastic guest here today. Please welcome the one and only Robert.
You know what? I thought I was gonna have to be the one to pull out all the dad jokes or like the Halloween spoopy, but you know what? I guess I might as well just pass it on to you because like you're already way ahead of me in that regard. But yes, let's see my introduction. I really don't have a Halloween like sort of creative name because I know that everyone's kind of into that whole little it's getting into the spirit. I'm kind of a little late in that regard, but you could just call me Mystic Mountain of Terror or something, but I don't know. But
Ooh.
oh, I'm Robert. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Thank you for joining, my dude. This has been fantastic. This has been the longest thing of planning, mostly because on my end, school. What am I gonna do? But still, now we have a semester taken off and more time to be able to sort of recollect myself because grad school is not been kind.
Yeah, like I know it's been planned. Like usually, when it comes to planning stuff like this, it kind of does take a while because it's understandable because you have school and also work and also being an adult and just, life. Adulting
Adulting!
101 is fun. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, it is.
It's always been such a hassle trying to I want to still continue to create and do all kinds of fun stuff, but at the same time, I've got to also adult, and adulting can be difficult because you have to get jobs and you have to pay rent and you have to make sure there's food on the table and stuff like that. So it gets a little
Wait,
tricky,
wait, wait, wait,
Gemlin.
wait. Means you have to get it. You have to, like, apply for, like, a day job as an adult?
I
Oh my
know.
god, I
I
never heard
can't
of
be
it.
a content creator on YouTube full time with less than 1,000 followers or subscribers, however you call it. It's so difficult.
I know, for real, right?
It's been crazy too. My subscriber count keeps fluctuating between 950 and below that, above that, and then it keeps going back to 950. I'm like, can we just get past this number so we could go to 1,000? I've been wanting to do another giveaway for the longest freaking time, and I'm like, I never thought it would be this difficult to be able to get to 1,000. And I'm not doing this with any other thing either. It's like I know a bunch of other channels tend to cheat by doing bots or stuff like that. I'm not about that life. I want to be genuine with stuff. And that's why I tend to try to focus on is being a genuine person, genuine creator. I'm not flawless at it, but I try my best. But of course, trying to be human, it does not work with the YouTube algorithm when you only are able to post every once in a while. So we're kind of at the mercy of YouTube here.
Well, there's this thing called artistic integrity. That's pretty much what it all comes down to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've had my fair share of people who have been not so kind in that endeavor. Mostly because they expect something from you or whatever. They want to collab with you without actually they want something from you. And it's not always the nicest thing in the world because it's just you want it to be genuine. You want to be sincere about it. Like, hey, let's work together. Let's chat. And then other times it's just you will do this for me or I will get my followers, whatever, to come over here. And it's just really? And they always pull that card too. It's just I have more subscribers than you. It's just How many of those are bots?
Oh, I'm so much better than you.
It
Oh,
was bad.
just gotta frolic along with my, like, 100,000 with your puny 950.
It's a surreal experience, but I still create at the end of the
Yeah,
day and still be me. It's just sad to
that's
see
all that
that people do
matters.
that. Like some people get really mean behind the screen. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, trust me, there's a lot of tea that we could spill, but, yeah,
We not
I
about that
just want to
life.
say, not about that. Yeah, this is not the type of podcast to do so. Besides, you could just get your entertainment somewhere else on another podcast or so, but not here, though.
We are derpy
We offer positive
potatoes.
vibes. Yes. Yep, we're just the derps.
Oh my goodness. But I just thought
Great
I'd mention
introduction
that.
so far.
Oh, thank you. I've It's been a hot minute since I've done a podcast. Like things have been just so crazy hectic. Like for one thing, I finished my undergrad for university. I've got my diploma, but then I entered
Congrats.
grad school and it's like a whole nother level of what is this? I'm dying. I'm adulting, but I'm dying. And it's just it's
Oh,
hard to
that
keep
is
up with.
such a mood. Yep, I totally feel ya.
It's just, but it's still been fun. Like I know it's gonna be worth it. I've had a lot of fun. I mean, just last semester, I got my first ever job. I was a graduate assistant, and it was just like I finally got to like teach a class, so to speak, and it was so fun. Like that's exactly the kind of thing that I enjoy doing. Most people be like, you're into voice acting, you do all this stuff. How are you? Why do you want to be a teacher? I'm like, y'all don't understand. It's like working in front of an audience for free. It's a lot of
Hmm.
fun. I mean, you get to make your own lesson plans and all that as a teacher. You get to like be quirky, dorky, like create all kinds of fun plans while still teaching your audience. I call it like educating while entertaining or entertaining while educating. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for and I love it. I'm glad I'm able to use my degree for that sort of thing.
Well, I'm very proud of you, and yeah, good luck with your future stuff. Like that sounds like it's a huge responsibility.
Thank you. And it is, to be honest, like I tend to feel like teachers have had a very huge impact on me growing up. A lot of times it's the teachers who, like they're kind of like a mentor figure. They kind of push you in the right direction. They're not necessarily like a second parent, so to speak, but like they care about you. They want to see you succeed and like it's not always just like just on the surface, you do your homework, turn it in, okay, we're done. There's more to being a teacher than that. I mean, I've met a ton of amazing, incredible, life changing teachers compared to like teachers who just go in there for a paycheck or don't even care about the subject. They just want to do it and be done with it, don't even care about the students. That's not the kind of thing that I go for. I want to continue to like bring about that change that teachers in my generation did for me, sort of like give back, so to speak.
I sorry, voice crack. I hear ya.
That was funny. But it's been surreal for sure, and it's a lot of fun all the way. And I finally get to live out that meme where your alarm clock goes off. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna be late for school. Wait a minute, I don't go to school. Crap, I'm the teacher. That happened too many times last semester.
Boy. Oh, I can't even imagine.
It was a lot of
Um,
fun. So,
yeah,
one of the things I did
yeah.
want to ask now that we have y'all on this podcast, so to speak, was
Yes.
if you
What's on
wanted
the
to.
agenda?
Oh, definitely big ol' agenda. This agenda being, I don't know. We're kind of just winging it at the moment, but one thing I definitely wanted to ask
Of
you about
course.
is if you had any like projects you wanted to share, because I wanted to amplify your voice over here.
Okay, sure. Just, sell myself out here. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
guess we're just doing this. Just want to get that out of the way. Okay, first, figure I might as well just give like a more I guess casual introduction of like what I do and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'll get to the projects in a little bit, but
Yeah, tell us a
so
little bit about you.
yeah. So hey folks, Robert Jackson here, also known as Mystic Ire J on various social media platforms. And let's see, I do the voiceover, the voice acting, I do the writings, I also create content. Um, I also do like, I don't know, just mostly just lurk around looking for casting calls and just keeping up the grind with the auditions like everybody does, joining in on that little trend. And let's see, I've been in projects such as, well, the ones that I can talk about anyways. You can hear me on projects such as Doomsday Paradise, which is supposed to be coming out soon on Steam. Let's see, Cryptid Crew, which is a nice little, like, audio sort of visual novel. I think it's a visual novel. Yeah, I'm not really too clear on that. But, let's see, and I might have been in a couple of other videos, like fan comic dubs and whatnot and stuff like that. Let's see, Strixhaven was another fun one. And a couple of other ones that are escaping my mind, either because I don't want to give away like too many details, either NDA reasons or just I can't disclose at the moment, which is kind of unfortunate that you would ask me to share more about the projects than like I'm doing because like I can't really disclose or talk much about them at the moment. And I also am in the process of creating my own stuff, but like I said, they're early into production and I don't want to give away too many details. But here's what I will say. If y'all are fans of like shows like Stranger Things or Gravity Falls, then this little audio drama that I'm doing might be right up your alley. So stay tuned for more updates in the next year or so. I wanted to get it out this year, but life. So
Life.
yeah, and I also do another podcast, silly little podcast in my own code Station Square, if anybody cares about that. But you don't care about that. You care about this one because this is the real deal. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me.
The one with the
A
awkward
bridge version of
potatoes.
myself. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But no, seriously, we take NDA serious in this house
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's so many people who have ruined such incredible opportunities for them because they couldn't hold on to the secret. And it's not even that bad. It's
Uh,
just like it's just a matter of just like waiting for the okay. Like it's incredible to have such an amazing opportunity and then to throw it away just to like what for a couple of likes, couple of retweets. I mean, yeah, it's we want to share our projects. We definitely do. But you've got to wait. You've got to be patient. Otherwise, you throw away everything. I mean, you could throw away the whole possibility of ever getting something like that again. You can be recast or something of that nature. You throw away the hard work of the individuals who've been trying to keep it a secret. I mean, I swear, not that long ago, even there's just like a whole thing where it's like they shared photographs or video of like films or video games, and that does a lot of damage to people. Those people who work
uh,
very hard to share their craft.
like this literally just happened too because I think I remember seeing a tweet from Sean Chiplock that there was somebody who broke NDA for like a Pokemon, like a promotional posters or something
Yes,
like
that's
that,
the
and
one I
it's
was
like,
seeing. I totally forget what it said because I didn't want to look at it too much, but like the company themselves like released a statement. I believe it was the company. It's I didn't read it all the way, but it was just like they released a whole statement, and it was just heartbreaking because like, oh, to just go to that extreme, it's just like the damage that's been done just from breaking NDA is serious.
seriously, just do not break NDAs. Seriously, just don't do it.
We're
Just
all
don't.
excited. We're all here cheering for you, but we can wait. That's the main thing. Some people who like will pester VAs and stuff like that. We don't count those people. But I mean people genuine supporters, we can wait. That's the thing.
Of course. So yeah, oh, and I almost forgot a little project that actually part of the reason that I'm even here is because I was on a little something something that lovely Miss Erenaroonie did a while back. So yeah, I
And it
was in a little spoopy
coincides.
Halloween series of videos. So yes, that's a good segue to just share your little, Halloween, that fun little project that I did like way back when.
I know it's
um,
been so like okay, so
yeah.
for the first 6 episodes of the original series, I was able to release those back to back to back, and it was like okay, perfect, done. But with this, with the sequel series, everything has been way more complicated, but at the same time, even more exciting and fun. For one thing, it is a much larger cast of characters, which in turn means that I have to draw every single character. And I like it's so fun to be able to bring these characters to life in your own style while also trying to like keep their defining characteristics, mind you. And it is just an incredible experience being able to work with all these different VAs and artists. This is the first time I've actually ever collaborated with other artists to bring pieces of the project to life. But I know a majority of it's done by me, but I mean they helped me a lot just being able to create a character or two or a backdrop, what have you. I mean, it's just been a crazy cool experience. But with that, because it is a larger thing and I do majority of it, if not like all the editing and such by myself, that comes with a lot of drawbacks. We've had to do several recastings for, people not doing what they're supposed to. And then we have to deal with like the just trying to get the artwork together, trying to fight the perfectionist in me and say, okay, this is good enough, not going back and picking out flaws and stuff, and just ultimately, just following along with this series. And it's just been a crazy ride, but it has definitely been prolonged way more than I anticipated. And I mean, now I see um how difficult it can be to self-produce projects such as these. I mean, it was difficult in the past, but like even bigger projects such as this has been so tedious. I remember one of my YouTubers that I used to watch growing up. Shout out to Shadow759. Thank you for letting me voice to call in your video. That was a dream come true. Being able to do these. Watching him create all these projects and all that span years, and now I see why they span years. And even if it's just a specific one for Halloween, I mean, my gosh, it is just deadlines are not kind when you're trying to self create and do a majority of the work on your own. And trying to include other people, it gets difficult trying to delegate tasks and all that, but it's so worth it seeing the project done. And we have 2 more episodes to go. I am currently finalizing the designs of the characters for episode 6. I think I have 2 of them down for sure. I think I just finished the third one. I have one more character I need to draw, and then I could start putting the artwork together for episode 6. But the funny thing is, episode 5 has already been recorded. I just haven't had a chance to edit the audio down and draw 2 extra characters into a certain segment, mostly because of this very thing that it spanned way longer than anticipated. But in the meantime, it's just been an incredible journey. It was so much fun working with y'all too, cuz like I swear those freaking bloopers. I have to find those bloopers. I know they're somewhere on my computer, but they were incredible. You're
Maybe
totally
someday.
you're totally free to talk about them, by the way, if you'd like. I'm pretty sure those episodes came out already that you were in, but
It ain't. It's been so long since I recorded it. I don't even remember what I said in the bloopers. At
so
this point, it's just kind of been, yeah.
okay, so if I remember correctly, you played 2 characters?
I do recall playing two characters. I think I played like, oh, his name was Roger. That's right. And then I played one other one. Oh man, shoot! It just came to my mind, but it just kind of slipped out. But I know his name was Roger, and the other one was
I'm pulling up the script right now as
I.
you're talking.
There you go.
Okay, so yes, I found you. Okay, so you voiced Roger and Demon Angela from
That's right.
both
Yeah.
characters are from Night of the Demons, a horror film that I absolutely love. And your bloopers as Angela and as Roger had me rolling on the floor laughing.
God. Like I'm trying to remember what I even did.
I
Like I think for
forget
Roger,
exactly, but like you were just so into
I think for Roger, I was just kind of going with like every like okay.
every horror movie thing. Be like, I'm surviving. Forget you.
I'm just surviving. Yeah, like I'm just going for like every black dude who just dies in the films for some reason. So I don't really think I was impersonating everyone. It's just every guy who is just in there and then he just gets killed like in the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. That's pretty much how it was. Let's see, for like said Demon Angela, right?
Angela. I can think of
Yeah,
it. I can't tell.
I
I can't remember what you said, but you're like do 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 do. Demon voice
think
singing.
oh man, I think I was doing like a really bad Dr. Claw imitation, and then I used it for like Demon Angela.
Oh my
I'm not sure if I could even do it right now, but yeah, I
god.
think that's pretty much what I did.
Maybe I can find a clip of it and include it into the podcast. But oh
Oh
goodness, was
man,
it
yeah,
funny?
maybe you should. Yeah,
With your
just to
permission.
embarrass me, but just how far I've come since because I think I did it in like think I still have like my Blue Yeti mic when I did it, but now I'm talking with like this AT2035 XLR with a Scarlett solo phone.
Oh,
So
very nice.
it's upgraded my yes, I've upgraded my setup, boys. But yeah, if you want to just embarrass me on the podcast, sure. Maybe if you find it, like it just put it like in the description, like on your video, that would be nice. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for
that was
sure.
a fun little project. Yeah. Let's see.
And by the way, I
Do
do
do.
plan on making this uh Erenaroonie 6 Nights of Scares. I know we have the first series. I call it a series because it's 6 episodes each. So the first series and then the Shriekwell. I'm gonna take a break after I finally finish this Shriekwell. But in the future, I do plan on making a terrifying trilogy. Ooh. But
Ooh.
until then, your girl gotta take a break after this project's done.
Yeah, definitely do that.
I mean, I was able to thankfully be able to create some of my smaller projects that I've been dying to create. One of which I'm very proud of still, the You Can Always Trust Me audio drama. Gosh, I really wish I had recorded it on camera because I legitimately was crying on just throughout the entirety of that recording. It took me a few months to record that because I was still not satisfied with the performance I was giving. I just kept re-recording it, keep going for the gut punch, keep going, and eventually I felt confident in the performance I gave. The tears were genuine. The emotion, the cracks in my voice, all of that was genuine tears. And I was just so grateful to be able to do that with such an incredible actor working alongside me, Cooper Mortlock. Shout out to him for playing Nick. It was just an incredible experience. But had I just been solely working on the 6 Nights of Scares, I would not have been able to have created this project. So I am still working on 6 Nights of Scares. I'm praying to be able to finish it by October, but you guys kind of get more knowledge behind the scenes how difficult it is working as one person. But I do plan to continue making smaller audio dramas and web comics and animatics, and finally having more people work with me if they are able to.
Ooh, all of this excitement is killing me.
It's funny because a lot of these projects have been around for years. Let me explain. A lot of these projects that I have been pulling up have been since like I was in high school, like 7 years ago. There's been a lot of projects that I have written that were intended to be books and films that never came to fruition. And so I've been adapting them into audio dramas and web comics and such. So I'm finally bringing these stories to life along with the newer projects such as the You Can Always Trust Me and accidents happen and such like that. I mean, it's so incredible to finally see these projects kind of revived from the grave, so to speak. Because, I mean, I've always wanted to bring these stories to life, and there's so many of them. Some of them which I would love to see like fully animated and such, but that's for someday long, long in the future. For now, it's still gonna be animatics. It's still me doing web comics, animatics, audio dramas, but I will be starting to bring a lot more stories to life, and I cannot wait to share with you guys.
Making all of these projects is like, hey, I'm gonna work on this one thing. Uh-oh, I gotta work on this other thing. Oh my gosh, so many stories to tell, so little time.
A mood. I mean, it's been crazy. You're trying to create, and yet you still have to do all these. Because this is technically your job on the side, or not even your job on the side. Because I'm not. This isn't a these projects I've been creating, my YouTube channel, all that's unpaid. So it's just been like trying to find the time and the resources to be able to
These are like
create.
passion projects.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
all of them are, and it's been surreal trying to get these projects off the ground, but I'm still creating. I'm still doing what I love, and I'm grateful to be able to share it with people.
Of course, of course. So, yeah, I know there's some other stuff that you wanted to ask me about.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we are in the month of Halloween. Woo! I was going to ask, do you okay? What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, so,
I tried
um,
to do the scream voice, but I couldn't do it.
don't worry, it's all good. So here's a shock. I am actually not a horror person.
What?
Yeah, probably. If you're gonna do like a Halloween themed podcast, like I'm probably am not the best person to ask when it comes to like horror movies and whatnot. So let's see.
All right, then let's shift the
Um,
vibe. All right. What
I mean,
is
I
the
can answer.
scariest thing that you've ever gone through?
Oh God. Okay, so first, I guess you know what? I think I'll answer like what's my favorite, I guess, horror scary movie per se. I think that was the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, oh God, wow. Okay. Even though I'm not really like a horror person, there's been a lot of movies that, um, I mean, they're not. Okay, it's the best way to put it. Like, it's definitely horror, but it's more like psychological type of horror that I seem to really enjoy instead of the typical like jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump
Right.
scare. You know, I'm kind of more into like the psychological drama and just the with the horror aesthetics because that's what I'm into. Because like I said, um, like I love shows like Stranger Things, Gravity Falls, where it's more mystery and it does have horror elements in it. And as a kid, and even now, I was a huge fan of like, um, even though they definitely did scare me, but as I got older, I really grew to appreciate more of like shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog,
Oh my
Invader
god.
Zim, um, yeah, those shows. And then there's also Are You Afraid of the Dark? They used to air on Nickelodeon way back in the day. And let's see, for movies, uh, you know what? I guess I'm just gonna go with the classics. Stanley Kubrick's films. I mean, I know that Stanley was kind of infamous for being a unique, interesting director, but his
Yeah.
movies, um, for some reason, like his films had like this, and I mean, he was a perfectionist, but like, man, when he got those movies done, like you could tell that he pretty much poured every ounce of his soul and just his artistic vision into every single shot. Like when you watch films like The Shining, and I know it's not really a horror movie, but Metal Jacket has some pretty disturbing scenes in there, and I mean, I would just say that Stanley Kubrick is just kind of like, he was a unique individual, and I guess in a way I sort of, I mean, I'm no, don't get me wrong. Like, I still think to this day it is like the way that he treated his actors is just kind of like, I'm
Yeah.
not really a fan of that type of method acting per se, like with that type of direction, but like, I mean, he did.
He
I mean,
did
if we're gonna
incredible
get
work, but
past like the
I
behind the
don't
scenes, he did incredible work. Yeah,
it's just like
I don't condone like
the
the
methods.
actions behind
Yeah,
the scenes, the
exactly.
methods. Yeah, but I mean, he was an innovative director, but just yeah, I don't agree with this directing style. But that's just me though. Um, let's see other ones. No, there's like a Nightmare on Elm Street or like Chucky or like any of those films. And actually one movie that I've been okay. You know what? No, it's not really horror, but I just always enjoy. I always love Nightmare Before Christmas. I know that's like the obvious choice. Let's
It's
see.
obvious and a
Even
classic for a
mm,
reason, my guy.
yeah, I mean it's Halloween, Christmas, but who cares? I just watch it every year. Hocus Pocus. That's right. Okay, I
Oh,
just remembered it. It just came to me. Yeah. Hocus Pocus was it's always a fun one to watch every Halloween. Let's see, is there anything else?
and they just
One
released a
movie I've been
sequel
wanting.
too,
I've heard mixed reception on it. I
right?
may check it out at some point, but we'll see. And also, one other one. One movie that is on my watch list is Silence of the Lambs.
That one's
It's the one with Anthony
incredible.
Hopkins. Yeah, that's on my watch list. So maybe I'll give it a shot. I'll watch it around this weekend and give my thoughts in a vlog or an episode or whatever I decide to do. So, the scariest experience that has ever happened to me. Let's see. Um, I was at camp. Okay, so like this
I'm sorry.
sort of inspire. This was the inspiration as for the story that I'm actually coming up with. So this is actually kind of based on a real life experience, believe it or
Hmm.
not. So I was at camp and we were walking into the woods and there was like uh at one point I was going down like a path all by myself and it was like getting dark and I was just out there in the woods and then I just kept hearing like um these low growly noises and I couldn't tell if it was like an animal or something like that, but here I was in the middle of the woods all alone by myself with no sound except or like I can't even do it as well, but it's like
Oh
it's kind of like
wow.
that.
Yeah.
It was literally that, and I just kept hearing it. And as I was trying to walk forward, it just kept getting like louder, and then all of a sudden, it just went dead silent. I was like, I think I probably should just go back with my friends. And then, yeah, and then I saw something moving in the bushes, and then it just stopped. That was when I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna go back now. Then it was a miracle that nothing actually happened to me back there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna be honest, like I always get nervous whenever I camp in the woods because like wild animals and also there's the possibility that like I know that these are just horror films, but I always when I was a kid, I was afraid that I would get attacked by like Chucky or like Freddy Krueger or like any
Yeah.
of those characters. Saw Yeah, that's another one.
I mean, the reason
And
I find horror movies interesting is that they have some level of truth to them. I mean, I've seen a couple of things here and there. Like I know there's it's let me distinguish. So there's horror movies that influence real life events. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean what real life events that influence horror movies. Cuz it's just very interesting to be aware of that these sort of things come to life. Most people will write it off as, oh, it's fake, oh, it's pretend. But there's just so many things that the only way we can describe it as is supernatural, but there's no genuine like answer, no debunking that could be happening.
That is, I'm not gonna spoil much about my little audio drama, but that does play a major part of what I'm doing here. So yeah, um, so it was that, and also, uh, I guess non. It's not like how can I say this? It's pretty much like it didn't really happen at night. I mean, like this was like the camping experience that happened when it was starting to get dark, which didn't help. But this happened during the day. Like this other experience that happened to me. So we were walking home from school. My sister had to pick me up, and then out of nowhere, this dog, and it was a big dog too, just literally came rushing out and like I honestly thought the dog was gonna jump over the fence and chase us, but like we were just running, we were scared, and it was like it was literally on our tails too. Like we almost got chased by a dog once, and yeah, that was kind of scary. I'm just thankful that it didn't jump over the fence and just we didn't get attacked by it because that would not have ended well for the both of us.
Oh yeah.
Um. And then there was one time where I thought somebody was like trying to break into the house. It turns out it was just um there would be a lot of times where like for some reason when I this old house that I used to live in, I would just hear like a lot of noises and just stuff coming from the garage. And I would thought that somebody was breaking in, but it turns out that we just had rats and rodents that are just,
Oh, thank goodness.
making making a ruckus, but we almost did have a break-in attempt once, which was scary.
Oh.
So yeah, um, yeah, and yes, I will say there was also another time where we were in a car and then we almost got struck by lightning when we were home from a vacation, summertime. So yeah, that was fun.
That is
Um,
crazy.
I think that's pretty much all I can really say. Don't really okay, so for me, I'm just thankful that I never had like anything like really traumatic happen to me.
Yeah.
Um, so those are like
Knock
some
on
of the
wood.
moments in my life. Oh, knock on wood. I'm just praying that it be the case. So it stays that way. But yeah, those are just kind of like the ones that I can really say were like scary without really diving deep into like, the the psychological scars or like the mental,
Yeah.
what really got me. I mean, yes, watching something like you watch a show. I mean, if we're gonna talk about like childhood, like I guess scares, I guess watching something on a show and then just being so freaked out by it, it just kind of stays with you for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, where it's like you just watch something innocent and then all of a sudden you watch this really dark episode and it's like, oh my gosh, there's that just happened. I will say that that was the experience that I had when I was watching like a Tom and Jerry. There was like a cartoon. There was like a Tom and Jerry episode where like
Oh wait, let me guess.
and
Is it
I
the one
know
where they go to heaven?
yeah, well Tom goes to heaven, but then he has to get Jerry to sign a contract. And then there
I
was
knew it.
um he fails and then he literally goes to hell.
That
And
scared the crap out of me
thankfully it
as a
turns out
kid.
thankfully it turns out it was all a dream, but it really freaked me out the first time I watched it. Cause it's like that was actually when oh, cause at the time because I was raised in a Christian household and just seeing that type of stuff on a children's show is like,
Yeah.
my goodness, wow. Um, that just really shocked me that like because at this time I was watching. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I just watched something and they always would have like characters that go through like a painful transformation, so like Halloween episodes. But at that point, I'd never seen a short like a cartoon where like a character literally just goes to goes to that other place, and I'm like, whoa. Um, then amazing that like I guess cartoons back then kind of had a lot more like um they can get away with much more because keep in mind, like when the original Tom and Jerry shorts came out, they were being released in theaters. So it wasn't real like at that time they weren't really made for kids. It was just made for all ages, but that like moment it's like that was just how far they were really willing to like go into the darker territories. And it then turns out there was like a lot of Looney Tune shorts that also had characters dying and going to hell. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean Disney, like oh my gosh, and one other one. So it wasn't just the Tom and Jerry one. There was a cartoon where like even Pluto technically goes to the underworld, but there was one part where like they were literally gonna throw him into a fire. I mean, like pretty much the entire movie of like Notre Dame can pretty much.
Oh,
That's
yes.
a pretty good mention here. Like Disney, like
They don't shy
uh,
away from it.
don't shy away, and also like the
All
Don
dogs
Bluth
go to
movies can
heaven.
also.
I just watched
Yeah,
them
all dogs go
too.
to heaven.
I just
Don
watched
Bluth,
a bunch
yeah,
of Don Bluth.
yeah.
The I've been
I
watching it because
just
I've
watched
been.
the original just watched the original American Tail, and I did see the original All Dogs. It's been a while, but yeah, that was like, yeah, like literally showing like dogs literally just, and like it's just really sad and it's both terrifying. I'm like, not only can that was just, just showed the possibility that not only can humans go to heaven or hell, but also pets. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Don Bluth and Disney did not shy away back in the day.
A
I
mood. And I
mean,
found that out just
Disney
rewatching them.
still, uh, but yeah, when you watch, I mean, I've watched like a lot of countdown videos for like top 10 scariest moments from our childhood or like top
Yeah.
10 scariest Disney. And it's like, it's usually the same ones over and over
Mm-hmm.
again. And it kind of does get a little repetitive. I just want to see stuff that are like, okay, not too many people know about, um, but it can still scare the pants off of you.
Yeah.
Um, we'll say some of Wizard of Oz kind of scared me as a kid. I mean, The Witch definitely did scare me. But the sequel though, those wheelie things,
Oh, I've been meaning to
yeah,
rewatch it, but dude, yes, those freaking things.
yeah,
For me, it was the headless lady
yeah.
because I remember her way differently as a child, and it scared me
Or the
so much.
headless horseman from like one Disney movie. I
The
I think it
Tales
was
of Ichabod
Mr.
Crane or something.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, the headless horseman. That is a famous one. Judge Doom. If we're just gonna talk
Mm.
about anything scary,
Dude.
everything that scared me as a kid, I think I'll probably be here for like another hour or so. Um, so yeah, we're just listing off childhood, like not trauma, but childhood scares, so to
Right.
speak. Scary stuff from our childhoods.
I think that's why I've been drawn to horror movies in my older years because more than half of my childhood I was scared, like all the time running to my parents' room. I mean, I was scared of of the common ones too, like of course King Ramses from freaking Courage the Cowardly
Oh
Dog.
man, or Freaky Fred.
That one
Yeah.
didn't scare me. I liked the pancakes and him shaving. I was just like, I thought Courage looked so cute. And I was just like, oh,
Oh
the
man,
pancakes look good.
that
I didn't
one.
think about it.
It really I mean, the context of it can get scary when you do realize that, like,
Yeah.
everything that he's doing is just kind of like,
Creepy as all
how can I
hell.
put this?
It didn't
It's
click as a
creepy.
kid.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
freaky
And
deaky.
apparently, shaving actually is a fetish that
Which
people
I
do
didn't
that I found
know
out.
again. It was just like,
Uh,
oh, Courage looks
There's
so
stuff that just
cute.
goes over your head when you're a kid, like,
Yeah.
him from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh gosh,
There's
the
a lot of
episode
Powerpuff episodes that were
him
pretty
where
dark.
there's like an episode where like they leave the Powerpuff Girls leaves and him take over the freaking city of Townsville and they're all like, "You left us. Where were you?" I was just like, "Fuck."
Jack, you did. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Oh my god, that traumatized me.
with the episode where SpongeBob turns into a snail. And this was like season one too. Where
Yeah.
like it was the animation was like more before they switched to digital, it was all traditional,
Hmm.
which kinda I mean, season one was unique, but with a transformation like that, it just kind of made it even more unnerving to watch
Yeah.
with the older style. So, there's like a lot that kind of spooked me as a kid. Oh wait,
There's
one
stuff that
more, I
wasn't
promise.
even noticed. Like, okay, the more common one was that episode with him, but there's an episode of Powerpuff Girls that doesn't get talked about enough, and it's the episode with the Sandman. There's a scene where they're like going through a
Oh
tunnel.
yeah,
That freaking face of the Sandman, all distorted colors and stuff, scared me so much as a kid, and it doesn't get talked about. And it's like, what the heck?
yeah. No, here's one that people often talk about. It's Encourage the Cowardly Dog. What I'm just gonna say this. You're not perfect.
Oh my gosh.
But like to me, I think the darkest episode of Courage was The Mask, which that was the episode when you get older, you realize that this is kind of like okay, it talks about domestic abuse and
Hmm.
it there's hints of lesbianism and there's also like a lot of other dark mature subject matters in that episode too. Whereas like
The wrong
yeah,
side of the tracks, the way they call it. It was just like,
wrong
damn.
side of the yeah. It's like yeah, who knows that I didn't know that a kid show could actually talk about serious subject. And I guess to segue from this and into something else that we would talk about, like in kid shows, not only do they like to scare us with like dark stuff, but they often talk about more mature and serious subject matters, which I remember there was one episode of Hey Arnold where I think Helga is talking about her family going into the lifestyle where it's like, yeah, dysfunctional families really do exist and
Hmm.
it is prominent and it's like I mean Simpsons though like I know that The Simpsons is more like a satire of dysfunctional families, but Hey Arnold portrays the issue as like, no, it's been treated like very seriously at that episode.
Yeah.
Where The Simpsons is more like commentary and satire. Hey Arnold just kind of plays it straight,
Hmm.
which at I think for shows that just delve into like real world issues and treat them with respect, that kind of influences me a lot when it comes to writing because I know that nowadays we've been getting like a lot more um issues that are going on in the world right now. I mean, um, if we're not gonna make jokes about the pandemic, there's like, Black Lives Matter and a bunch of other social issues that are going on that people would totally do right now. It depends on how you handle it though.
Hmm.
Um,
Like
and when
Family
it
Guy
comes to the
and
scares and
Simpsons
horror,
is
yeah.
all satire. They don't
Yeah,
take a
they just kind of
side.
like, oh, haha, let's just take a piss out of this. It just, yeah, boom, damn, done, paycheck. But, I mean, not to say that it's bad, mind
Oh
you.
yeah.
I'm not,
At
yeah,
least they
but
like
it's like,
acknowledge
that's,
it, you know.
yeah,
Like some news sources don't acknowledge it.
exactly. Um, but horror and stuff, I think I'm pretty much, unless if something else comes up, I mean, like, even Simpsons Family Guy do have their disturbing moments, for better or worse, but,
Yeah.
I mean, most adult shows can have their, um, like, I don't know if BoJack is a horror. It's not. I mean, it just delves into like real serious adult issues, and yeah, it does not shy away from the mature subject matter. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like when it comes to like the scariest thing that happened to me or like childhood, like the scariest moments that happened in my childhood or just anything scary. I think I'm kind of that I don't have anything else. I think I'm kind of just drawing blank here.
Oh, no worries, you're good. I did want to say though, and I just found this out recently because it never hit me until years later. That same episode of Tom and Jerry that you were talking about, where Tom goes to heaven or hell. Okay, so there is a scene where there's a bag that goes up, and there's three little kittens in there, and they come out, and they're all
Oh, that
happy.
doesn't get talked about very often.
See, for me as a kid, I was just like, oh, three little kittens. it did not occur to me that yes, these three little kittens were had passed away and that they were put in a bag. And it was just like that did not click with
Oh,
me until as an adult, and that broke my heart
yeah.
because that is such, it was so innocent too. It's not like they weren't like acting hurt or so to speak. They were just like, hey, what happened? Like the
It was
innocence of the
kind of yeah.
kittens
It was
broke
even
me.
animated so like it was all animated so innocently too. It's
Mhm.
like but then when you really look closely, there was like you notice that there is like water. So
Mhm.
that just gives you the implication that
They were drowned.
someone drowned them.
And
Yeah.
it
It
was
did
so
not click to
sick.
me when I was older.
Mhm.
That was like dang, that was dark even by Tom and Jerry standards.
Right? And it's so crazy. It did not click until I was older. I'm just like, this is
I mean,
like,
it's just kind of wonders like, wow, people actually did do that.
mhm.
I'm not sure if if it happens as frequent now. I might be wrong, but yeah, this is something that happened quite a bit. Like by the time that these shorts were coming out, and it's like it gets all the more disturbing the older
The
you get.
age, yeah, the age of the freaking short too. That's another thing to consider. It's just like, oof.
And it's like they often had beautiful animation too. And it's like when the shorts have really great animation, like that can also make for some pretty like if you have like really good animation too, that can also make it like I don't know, it can sort of make it even more horrifying if it's like especially since the series is like animated with such like, fluidity and lush animation. So like when stuff like this happens, it's like it can hit you gets you like
It hits different.
becomes even all the more shocking. It becomes even more effective, exactly.
Mhm.
Which is what Disney did, like Warner Brothers, MGM. It's pretty much a lot of old stuff that we used to watch. Oh yeah. I think I should probably at least we not mention the one where that infamous episode where like Tom, just depressed and just wants to,
Yes. That one
uh,
I don't remember seeing as often, but seeing the
they actually
pictures.
they actually don't there's a reason why they actually don't air it often.
Yeah.
Because it's really depressing. People say that it was the last one. No, it wasn't. More were made
Mhm.
after that one. But it's like, if they actually released this as the very last time of Jerry, that would have been even more disturbing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that would have
notice
been
that the episode
horrifying.
Perfect was the final episode from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah. And, like, that one actually had the perfect ending. It's
Oh
because
yeah.
it's like, you might as well just end it on a really high note before it, gets stale and
Mhm.
stuff.
I still
So,
wish there was
but
more.
that's like, I mean, make it more, but we'll see. I mean, we did get a Scooby Doo cross.
I
Oh
was
yeah, it's
so
Scooby
happy
Doo.
to see that. Oh.
Scooby Doo. That's another one I watched. Was
Mhm.
there any scary episodes that
The
I've seen from
Mummy.
Scooby Doo?
The
Yeah.
Scooby Doo and the Mummy
I mean,
too. That
to be
Mummy
fair,
still scares me.
I watched a pup named Scooby Doo more than the original, to be totally honest. And I have seen some of Mystery Incorporated. I
Yeah.
can't really say that I'm like a huge Scooby Doo aficionado or like a huge super fan,
Mhm.
but it's fine. It's harmless.
Well, I love Scooby Doo growing up, and like you were mentioning episodes that Mummy episode, yo, the sound and the design of the mummy used to give me nightmares. I used to think that
Oh
mummy was
man.
in my room or in my house. The way the mummy would
Oh
run,
lord.
the face, and you don't understand. Okay, so most Scooby Doo villains, like, yeah, they're creepy and like they have an interesting design, but tell me why they did the lighting on the mummy and it looked horrifying. I mean, they did a lighting on the mummy, like he's in a dark room with them. And I'm like, why would you do this? Oh my god, that mummy episode,
Hanna-Barbera.
it still
You
scares me.
no. Why would you do this to me, Hanna-Barbera? Why?
it still scares me. Like, I try talking to myself. It's just like, okay, you know that it's this guy under the mask, and still, it still freaks me the freak out. Just the sound he makes. I'm like, most people talk about the creeper and all this other stuff being the scariest. No, it's that freaking mummy, y'all. Like, y'all don't give that fricker like enough credit for being terrifying. The face, the sides of the face, the way it runs. Oh my goodness, I have never been more scared of a Scooby-Doo villain than that freaking mummy in the original series. Childhood trauma right there. I think I need to
Oh
face
my
my fear and
goodness gracious.
rewatch some of these scary episodes. I mean, I was able to finally rewatch The King's Ramsay's Curse, which is a plus that I faced my fear with that one. But goodness, man, there are so many things from childhood that scare you still.
Turn the salam. Return the salam.
Oh no! Okay, I'm not as over it as I thought I was.
Oh man. I mean, especially that, because sometimes the show would use like CGI animation, and that just made it even
Yes.
creepier. Because like it's usually 2D animated, but like whenever they use the CGI, they really know how to make it look scary. I mean, like yeah, I know it looks dated, but still, like the movements of
Oh,
King Ramses still kind of creeps me out, man.
the music.
Even despite the music too. I mean, music.
The music, I
The
could hear
show.
it like all the time as a kid. Freaked me out.
I mean, I know that the CGI animation does look dated, like I said, but like, still creepy though.
Hmm.
I mean, I know that its age didn't really age well. It still never fails to give me the creeps.
Oh,
Um,
I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. I mean,
yeah.
just that opening
Oh,
scene alone. I mean, people don't talk about that part enough. I mean, you don't
yeah,
see
those
King's
two
Ramses yet.
burglars.
Yes. Oh, and they're gone, and you just see the car, just like.
The camera
Ah.
just goes up, just pans to the right, and then it goes back, and then it's just gone.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm getting chills talking about that. I thought that was over
no,
that.
Honor. There was one Looney Tunes short where it's like, not sure if it was made from like I don't know back in the 40s or 50s, but I think it was there was a 90s Looney Tune short where it was a parody on Invasion of the call it Invasion of the Bunny Snatchers, like get it bunny,
Oh.
where it's like there was one part where like I think it was like a fake robot bugs. He gets okay. So I kind of gotta ask this. Like the moment was still unnerving, but like, why would Bugs have like a freaking fire axe in his like little bunny hole? That's something that I never got. But anyways, he grabs the axe and then he tries to kill the real Bugs with it, and then he screams. But then he stops for a moment. And is like, this is the scariest part of the. Yes, it is. And like the fact that they lampshaded too is like, I mean, the one that kind of gets me is the Porky Pig at the end, where it's like, like I think the Porky Pig one was the creepiest out of all of them, and it's because like Porky, that one just comes out of nowhere, but then thankfully, like Porky, the real one, just concludes that one. But yeah, that was pretty unnerving.
I've got to
Like,
see this. Like, do you think you could send me a
it
link
was
of
a
this right
parody
away?
of like the Body Snatchers,
Yeah, because I just
except
barely
with Looney
watched it
Tunes.
last year. I watched the old one and the new one, and I listened to the audiobook of the book itself. I mean, I loved Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and I didn't even I've never heard of this one before. I've got to see it.
It's pretty good. Like I said, it has like that early 90s charm that like a lot of um I know that anime like the 90s era was like considered to be the new golden age, which there's been a lot of good stuff. I mean
Hmm.
like most of the stuff that I'm doing now is kind of based on like the shows that I grew up with like the 90s and 2000s. So,
I've noticed that pattern. A lot of influence comes from stuff that we watched or enjoyed or connected
as a
with.
kid,
Hmm.
if we're gonna talk horror and video games, we'd be here for like another hour.
I know.
Zelda, yeah, so much stuff.
And that is why, if you want to hear more of the podcast, we are going to have a special two-part thing. So we will have one part over here on my channel, and you can find the other half on Robert's channel if you would like to listen to a gigantic podcast back to back. So, with that, let us conclude the spoopy times. We have officially gotten chills. I'm probably gonna need to check my doors and closets to make sure there's nothing in there, especially King Ramses. So, without further ado, Robert, my dude, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. Any final statements you'd like to say?
Turn the slab. I'm kidding. In all seriousness, though, thank you, Erenaroonie. This was a lot of fun. I really had a good time, especially since was on another little podcast before this one, but it was with multiple people. But this being the first time that I was actually brought on another one as like a solo guest, this was a nice little change of pace considering what I do on my own podcast. Yeah, this was really fun. Really like talking about the spooky horror stuff. So if you want to listen to us talk about non-horror related stuff, just feel free to hop on over to my neck of the woods, and we'll just talk about what else. Other geeky related things. We could talk about video games, movies, voiceover, animation, books, cartoons, and yeah, just pretty much a jack of all trades. In case you're gonna tell, I'm a huge nerd, and
We all are.
love all things that are related to pop culture and yeah, just entertainment, media in general. Do not have a good outro for this, so yeah.
It's all
But
good.
yeah, like I said, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. It was a huge pleasure of getting to be on your little fun little derby potato podcast.
It was
So
fun
to
having you on here, my dude. And I'm not gonna lie,
course.
bruh, the pause before you said return the slab, as soon as you said that, I hit my microphone and I almost fell backward.
Oh, to be used as a nice little fun blooper.
Oh,
Or I don't know.
definitely.
This is live technically, so
It's technically live. You guys could tell I
it is what
am
it is.
somewhat of a scaredy. Oh, okay, so I'm a scaredy cat mostly because I just watched the movie Smile, and me and my roommate are still not over that.
Oh boy.
Girl, it is scary.
Thought you were gonna talk about smiling friends for a moment.
Oh
Dear.
no, we watched the movie Smile in theaters, and we are still not over that. That is I have never jumped onto my roommate ever while watching horror movies, and we've watched a ton. I mean, we've watched The Terrifier and stuff like that. Like, you understand, this is the most scared that we have been for several days in a row now from a movie. So, if you want a good scare, check out the movie Smile. Oh my gosh, the music, the creature design, the psychological. Oh my god, I'm still getting chills. I'm trying not to think of that movie. It's scary. But it is time for the conclusion of the spoopy season. Keep on
Yes.
checking out things. Get ready for your comment down your Halloween costumes plans in the comments below. And I hope you have a fantastic time, my lovelies. Bye. Woo!
Bye. Just hoping I actually do something for this Halloween. Bye.